Hi, Cancer. I hope you guys are doing great today. Hopefully we could get this take done. Silly Mercury retrograde. It keeps cutting off. Your videos keep cutting off. I hope you guys are doing fantastic. We're going to be dealing with your messages for the 7th to the 13th of June. We have a lot going on this week, right? That's right. We have these solar eclipse in Gemini. We have Mercury still retrograde. So the new moon eclipse is going to be happening in your 12th house, as is Mercury is retrograde, right, throughout the cycle. In your 12th house of the subconscious, too many for me to take. The house of your subconscious, the 12th house is the house of the hidden. It's the house of where we go for escapism, right? It's escapist tendencies. It has to do with where we ground ourselves for meditation and prayer. It's one of the best things to ground ourselves in, actually, in that energy. Can be also, for some, an indication of career. For a lot of you, there's going to be a lot of reviewing, a lot of going over things. I feel like a lot of Cancers are going to be deeply, deeply reflective about the past, right? Because it is the house of the hidden, of the subconscious, and because we have Mercury retrograde, which is really about bringing stuff up from the past for us to reevaluate, review, reassess, sometimes reconnect with, but at least review, right? Now, with this particular new moon, this with this solar energy, there's meant to be a lot of focus and a lot of this kind of eclipse is supposed to bring this sort of like really life can't even speak here, changes, right? Pragmatic changes that we see out in the 3D, but because it's happening in your 12th house, there's going to be a lot of reflection for the goal end of problem solving, right? But you might not be able to see everything right now, which can be a little confusing. And at the same time, we have the eclipse squaring Neptune and Mercury retrograde squaring Neptune, and that's happening again between that 12th house as well as your 9th house. So that 9th house is the house where we search for the meaning and purpose and direction in our life. It's where we establish the guidelines in our life. So a lot of you may be going through this very reflective stage where you're assessing what it is that you've wanted in your life and some choices that you've made in your life to bring yourself where you are right now, in that job, in that relationship, in that situation. The first card up from the Divine Energy Oracle is Take the Lead. Take the lead might not be the easiest energy to do that in, but we could do that at least psychologically. Seek hidden treasures, beautiful in that 12th house. Yeah, a lot of you are going to be doing that. And laugh at your own demons. Oh, I love this. This is awesome. Because listen, the 12th house is where our demons hang, right? That's why we call it the house of self-sabotaging behavior. Again, those escapist energies. And because we have this sort of face-off between our value system, what pulls us forward, our ability to view life at a distance, our life's journey, right? This could also have to do with, in a very pragmatic way, our relationships to in-laws. In a very pragmatic way, if you have something going on with the higher courts, right? If you have some sort of lawsuit going on. So we have that in tension with how you're thinking and feeling in your subconscious mind about something. And again, throwing that Mercury retrograde, I think that's the most important component of this energy that we're dealing with actually right now, is that idea of Mercury retrograde, because nothing's going to feel clear on top of Neptune, because Neptune is like throwing a cloak of illusion over everything. I always say whenever we deal with a challenging aspect to Neptune, it's like trying to look at reality through a thick fog or a dirty window. Now throw into that complex and confusing communication. So it's real. I mean, there's a lot of energy that's going to create a lot of disillusionment, dishonesty, and also with the Saturn square Uranus, and that's happening between your 8th and your 11th house, could be a very frustrating time for you, where you're feeling like a rising of tension and sudden changes, right? And so it could be challenging in that way. The best way to circumvent all of this, couple of things, right? First of all, stay as honest as you can. Avoid being gullible right now. Caution and honesty, super important right now. But stay open-minded and very patient and flexible. particularly with yourself right now, Cancer, particularly with yourself. We have take the lead is being clarified by why. Seek hidden treasures is being clarified by between worlds. Yeah, I'm getting a lot of the energies. I feel like it's almost like a lot of people are just crossing the street, right? It's like you're on one side of your life right now and you're crossing the street to try to get to that new chapter, but you're not really quite sure how to navigate that street right now. And if you're feeling that way, that's perfectly okay. That just means you're in alignment with your archetype right now. Laugh at your demons, the never-ending story. All right. You know what? Listen, laughter is such an awesome medicine, right? As they say. But really figure out where maybe you get in your own way, where are you too cautious, where are you not cautious enough, yeah, whatever it is for you. So we have take the lead, why, right? And when we say why, the wisdom of the oracle is really looking at the base reasoning behind why things go the way they do, why we do what we do, why we want to do what we want to do, right? What's that goal endpoint? Does it still make sense for us? And really, the need to exercise some patience right now. Be very patient because you're going in this other direction, which is really good though, Cancer. It really is. So seek the hidden treasure between worlds. There's a reason why everything is happening as it is. And it's time for a little bit of alchemy. Very good. A little bit of magician, a little bit of temperance thrown in there. Very nice. So alchemy is always about blending. Think about making a cake. We need several ingredients, mix it together to make something delicious and fabulous, right? So it really is this idea of taking what is awesome in you, and I'm sure everything is awesome, right? But really being able to identify where you might give people a little too much slack, or where you might not be cautious enough, or anything like that. Take the beautiful stuff, try to get rid of, or at least recognize and call out where you might get in your own way, and open yourself up to a new perspective. And that's what I'm getting with this alchemy. So laugh at your demons, love that never-ending story, and really look at how teachable are you. Do you get scared at things before you should be getting scared, right? Don't beat yourself up if that's your reality, because that's, again, very in alignment with the Cancer archetype. I don't know what else is in your chart. I don't know you. I don't know what's aspecting. Cancer would just be one part of your energy. You might have it several placements within that house in your chart. But, generally speaking, Cancers are very, very concerned about safety, security. Very emotional energy. You're the snuggliest sign, I always say. So loving. You guys are home. I mean, and what does that mean? Everything, right? It means the ability to feel at home in something. But in the same way, if you feel threatened, you do, as I always say, that crabby side shuffle. You run into the corner and hide, and it's really difficult to pull a Cancer out once they feel threatened, once they feel like somebody is not treating them with integrity, kindness, and love, right? But sometimes Cancers do look at things through their emotions rather than the facts presented. So it's just good to know ourselves in these ways, right? So we have this beautiful taking the lead, patience, beautiful, asking these big questions, why? And this is going to bring you a new beginning. I love it. This is an auspicious energy for every area of your life, Cancer. Happiness and contentment, getting what you desire, money coming to you quickly, or at least you're shown how to achieve what it is that you want. This equates to a foundation of stability. Pentacles does not only mean money. So I said money, but it doesn't only mean that. It could also mean mental, physical, and emotional connection. So honestly, this is an energy where don't doubt your good luck, even if you don't see it right now. Don't evaluate everything right now. We're in the middle of a lot of shifts. Wait for everything to sort of land and shake out. I'm looking at the astrology. I do feel like the summer, this is going to be a very important summer for a lot of people. I just think a lot of things are going to start landing in a really nice way in August. That's kind of what I see. I just feel like there's going to be a lot of process right now. So when we're looking at these seeking the hidden treasures, recognizing that you're in between worlds right now, and that there's this need to blend alchemy. Get rid of the old, bring in some new, adapt and adopt some new perspectives. Because right now we have this Chariot energy and it's in reverse. And this is something that you need to look at. Because the Chariot reverse indicates where has arrogance and indulgence been alive and well in your life? Have you been dealing with people like that, allowing them to enter your space and do things that maybe in retrospect, you're like, why did I even allow that? A lot of you guys are going to be in that space. Understand, with Mercury retrograde in your 12th house, you're going to be looking at, where has this been a thing in my life? This can also manifest as you maybe spiraling out of control or being off the right path right now, or dealing with people who are like this. People who tend to just very easily get off that right path. Where's like egotism and selfishness been a thing for you? Right? Either within yourself or energies that you've allowed to be in your life. And it's really about calling that out, because a change of focus is needed here. Change of focus. That's it. Laugh at your own demons, the never-ending story, how teachable are you in this area, and really looking at the 3 swords in your life. Looking back at the heartbreak you've experienced, looking back at the pains of truths that you've experienced, looking back at betrayals, recognizing, do you have a tendency to struggle with depression? Do you tend to pull very depressed people towards you? And what I love about this, though, Cancer, is that any confusion that you've had about any of these things I'm mentioning is going to be gone. And you're going to be in a position to be given to move on and really, really heal. So I love this. I mean, this is just really about calling out unhealthy patterns and just tagging it with a name, laughing at it, saying, I'm so ridiculous. Why do I do that to myself? And then moving on from there. Just throwing some lighthearted energy onto it. I think that's going to be a really good thing for you at the end of the day. All right, my friends. So let's get into some more specifics. Okay, sorry, I'm knocking my camera here. Let's get into relationship. Okay, so I am going to go back to the Divine Energy Oracle. Okay, let's pull one of each for our Cancer friends. Okay, reflect on your own truth when it comes to relationships. Cycles. Yeah, I have to say, just this feeling, right, with the cycles, right? It's kind of like the never-ending story in the Wisdom of the Oracle energy. So reflect on your truths. Look at the cycles that you've experienced. If you've been in relationships like that where it's good, then it's not good, or things are going great and then suddenly they fall apart, what goes on with that? And to the sea, I like it. It's a beautiful 12th house energy, right? She's just sitting there reading her book on top of her emotions. She's not, there's this recognition of the past and there's this recognition of going forward, but it's just sort of sitting with everything in the moment and assessing. I just feel like a lot of you are going to be going through that right now. It's a lot of assessing. Reflecting on the truth, assessing and looking at the cycles in your relationships in your life that you've experienced. Okay. Put it down, upside down. Okay. So we have Judgment, the 6 of Wands, the Wheel. Okay, yeah, some of you are doing some heavy thinking about the past. Okay, let's pull one more row here, see what we have going on. So we have the Judgment, Pluto energy. Pluto is the modern ruler of Scorpio. So it's about assessing the relationship. Assessing, forgiving, letting go of the past, making a decision about the past. Spiritually waking up, Cancer. This is a spiritual awakening energy. Those of you in a relationship right now, the love, the connection is assessed and it shifts into a new phase. There might need for some of you there might be a need for reconciliation, or at least reconciling some sort of issue that's gone on in the past. And we could do that. And we don't even need to be with an energy in order to do that, in order to reconcile a lot of energies that we've experienced in past relationships so that we can move forward in a healthier way. But for those of you who are in a space of needing to reconciliate with somebody, only if you think the relationship was worth it. I mean, if it was negative, listen, just because the energies say it doesn't mean you have to jump on it. You may be resonating with it that, all right, I need to actually heal that thing once and for all. But if you're single, again, those of you who are unattached right now, you may visit an old relationship and again, decide if it's worth it or not. Some of you just might have an old friend reappear from the past, right? But it's an energy, though. The judgment energy for relationship is really about, okay, you know what? In the moment, we all did the best that we knew how. And I forgive myself. And I forgive the person that I'm with. And what's the point in not doing that? What's the point? If you're going to reconciliate as far as the relationship, you're going to have to figure out a way, obviously, of addressing the past so that you don't bring it too much into the future. And besides addressing the situation, and then if you're not in reconciling with that person, to just reconcile the issues that have gone on, right? But I just feel like a lot of it is going to be going in a very good way. Those of you who are in relationships, this Six of Wands energy is beautiful. It's like feelings being shared and well received, very positive communication coming in to deepen the connection. And again, we have the Judgment. We have the two revisiting energies, guys, keeping it real. All right, we have two major arcanas that indicate reconciling. We have the Wheel, an ex-love interest, a partner comes back from the past. You need to, again, think about that last go-around. Were the bones good of the relationship? Did you guys break up over issues that are really quite fixable, that were just sort of maybe more reactive than responsive in the moment, But there is this I feel like this definite revisiting of something. But regardless, the Wheel is very, very faded. And it's a turning point. There's some sort of turning point that's going on here, right? It's a Jupiter energy. So we have the Empress energy, Mother of the Tarot. And this is all about growth. Straight up Venus. This is Venus. Venus rules 2nd house and 7th house, right? Having to do with money. Also self-esteem, though. And how did you feel in that relationship? Really asking and answering those big questions. King of Swords is being able to stay more in the mental realm than in the emotions, meaning you're not allowing your emotions to rule the day. You're thinking things through very methodically. You're trying to be very realistic with yourself, very realistic. And asking yourself those big questions of like, I don't know, were they there for me? 6 of Pentacles is I have your back, you have mine. We're here for each other no matter what. And you're being very honest in this assessing in a relationship. But I like this because this King of Swords is a central card, is very, very focused on a very practical assessment of the relationship. We have the Chariot energy, and we have to look around the Chariot energy. We have the 6 of Swords. Listen, you guys are just moving the hell away from anything that's toxic. You don't want it in your life anymore. You just really don't. Page of Wands. Nice, right? This is about really just expressing yourself, expressing yourself, expressing yourself. Now, some of you might be recognizing that you were dealing with an energy who was a Page of Wands energy, where they were a lot of fun. They were maybe very creative, very interesting, very hardworking. They had a lot of beautiful things going on for them, but they were the kind of energy that gets bored very easily, and then they just want to move on. And that kind of energy, even though they might be a lot of fun to be friends with, they're tricky to be in a relationship with, especially for a Cancer, because you really can't count on them very much. There's almost a level of emotional immaturity about them, even though they're a lot of fun. So, that's if you're dealing with this kind of energy. If this is you, it's time for you to just seriously express yourself. But the 6 of Swords energy, it's just moving on, right? Detaching from something, at least for a moment, allowing some space to do a lot of internal work. And just, again, moving away from the toxicity. if you feel like, you're in something that is not able to grow in the way that you would really like it to grow. There is this need for temperance, going back to that first spread, alchemy, right? Temperance is really a new level of trust and patient cooperation being had after a challenging time period. Now, for those of you who are single, you might find yourself very energetically and spiritually pulled towards a new partner. Very emotionally intense time. Very emotionally intense time. But what I like about it is you're very, very cognizant of whatever's been toxic and not working for you. And you're very aware of that. You're very aware. We have the King of Pentacles and we have the Five of Cups. So you might be dealing with an energy that that is not very open. They could be a very generous energy, very hardworking. They want to be in the relationship. They want to be settled, all of that. But they're also not willing to, first of all, they have no patience for anyone who's looking to take what's theirs. So if you might be dealing with somebody who is very particular about their money, very particular about what they're willing to change within themselves for the sake of the relationship. And the thing is, that might end up bringing you to a space of feeling sad, right? With the Five of Cups. So there's this idea of loss and leaving and sadness, right? Because something ends before you feel very ready for it to, but you're going to be able to deal with it and move on and just assimilate that stress and that sadness in order to make a new start. Now, some of you may be going through past experiences like this, only because we have that Mercury retrograde in that 12th house for you. But you might be very much recognizing this, that you had to move away from a situation. You recognize the toxicity in a person because they weren't willing to be more giving in relation to what was necessary for the connection to work. It's very interesting. So looking at the corner energies, we have this idea of judgment in the wheel, temperance, and Five of Cups. So you may have had this experience, or you may be in it right now, where you see exactly what's necessary to make something work. And you're identifying the potential, but you're also identifying that what's necessary to blend together and this new perspective that's necessary in order to make something work and level it up. You're feeling like they may just not be capable of it. Even if you are, they may not be, because it does seem like that to me with this King of Pentacles leading to this Five of Cups energy. Yeah. So, yeah. I think you're going in a really good direction, though, Cancer. No matter, regardless if you're experiencing a lot of pain right now or a lot of confusion about your past, what I like here is this. The Eight of Pentacles is great because the 8 is the number of mastery. It's you figuring something out. We have 2 aces in a row. So with this 8 of Pentacles, this is you focusing on responsibilities in a really diligent and hardworking way, right? And this is what you need. Very, very figuring out what's necessary for you to be happy in relationship. Not necessarily what's necessary to make a relationship work, but for you, right? Because we're all different. And recognizing that, look, you've had yourself in several situations that now you feel almost trapped in that cycle, right? Thinking things are never going to improve, and that can create a kind of anxiety and it's this kind of cyclical thinking where it's like, wait a minute, I show up 100% in relationships. I'm a Cancer. What's going on here? And the reality is, if something is not going the way that you want, you really need to be very honest about why, right? And why you don't feel like you belong in the situations that you've had yourself in. You need a lot of determination, though, to pull yourself out of this. Even if it means swallowing your pride, even if it means being really scared about a situation. But it's simply the recognition that, all right, you know what? Whatever I've been doing here, it's not really working. The Eight of Swords is a kind of energy where it's like, if you keep doing what you did, you're going to keep getting what you got, kind of thing. And you recognize this, but the thing is, guys, recognizing this, these 2 8s, look what you have at the end of the day. Beautiful. The Sun. You know what the Sun means? The Sun means that you're going to have everything that you need in your toolbox to be happy in relationship at the end of this. And when I'm talking about the end of this is, I'm saying that these are the energies for the 7th through the 13th. But what I probably should be saying is that this is when astrologically these energies hit. A lot of you are feeling this already. Many of you are going to be feeling this though for the next 6 months. This is a very important week. And so I feel like a lot of what you guys are going to be figuring out in relationships, those of you who are coupled, those of you who are single, it doesn't really matter. What's happening this week, there's this reflection to the past. You're forgiving, you're releasing, you're moving on. Beautiful. Those of you who are single, opening yourself up to meeting somebody new, but I don't feel like just quite yet. I feel like the new energy would probably be coming in by the end of the summer for whoever's resonating with it like this. Those of you who are in relationship, very page-turning energy. It's almost like the lights are being put on for you regarding the energy that you're dealing with right now. Now, a lot of you are going to be finding this new sort of reconnecting with that loved one in a new way, having these very important conversations where you feel like, and very openly, where you feel like somebody might not be showing up the way that they need to. But don't be surprised if the communication is really uncomfortable right now. Not going to be comfortable. It's not the best energy. It's a great energy to reflect, but not the best energy for there to be a lot of solutions presented. You know what I mean? Just not the best. So let's just pull a couple of energies for those of you having to do with career. Be patient. Sexuality. All right, calm down. We're not telling you to go get into sex work here. There is another way of understanding it. Sexuality means allowing yourself to be vulnerable. I mean, really vulnerable. Going down deep and dirty and allowing yourself within you to get very, very raw, honest about what it is that you want. No facade, nothing like that. Allowing yourself to be very vulnerable and exposed. And understanding no place like home means doing something that really, really resonates with you. So straight up, what I'm feeling here for those of you having to do with career or even a money situation, this is not an energy that where you could be doing any kind of job just for the money. You have to really feel it viscerally. Otherwise, it's going to fall apart. It's not going to work out within the next 6 months. And that could be really frustrating because I feel like a lot of you, the energy that I'm getting here is that a lot of you may be doing something more because you feel like it's the right thing to do, because of the money, because it's what you studied in school, because it's what you've been doing for, a very long time. All of these reasons that are by all rights good reasons, but it's just not working for you anymore. Not working. It's just not working for you anymore. So clarifying, be patient. We have the Hierophant, clarifying the sexuality. We have the Six of Cups. Okay, I like it. No place like home, Ace of Cups. Very nice new beginning here. Oh, I love this central energy. Clarifying the sexuality card with the Six of Cups is about going back to something that you wanted to do once upon a time. Think about something in your mind's eye that you really wanted to do. Within reason, guys, of course, right? Within reason. That you've wanted to do in your lifetime. It's almost about almost going back to that innocent stage of your life where you were like, you know what I want to do when I grow up? That's what I want to do. And I don't care, guys, if you're 70 years old right now. It's like the energy is calling you to be absolutely authentic. Absolutely authentic. Really nice. And then we have with the Hierophant energy, this is about progressing your life forward. Right? Really nice. What is it that you really want to do? Some of you might be wanting to get into something having to do with spirituality or religion. Some of you might be wanting to get into something, because this has to do, numerology, this is associated with temperance, which is a Sagittarius energy, which is 9th house. So some of you might want to get into something having to do with teaching, higher education, travel, anything to do with higher mindedness, philosophy, even anything to do with the law. Maybe having to do with the law. Maybe some of you have been playing around with the idea of getting into law, getting into, and I know these sound random and like they're not connected, but they are, because if you think about higher mindedness, so it could be anything having to do with spirituality, religion, the law, life coaching, being a professor, Also anything having to do with foreign land, foreign cultures, travel. But going back to something that anything in that area, I'm feeling that you wanted to do at a particular point, because it's where it's like that energy, that is that pocket of energy that feels like home to you. And it's that very space where you're going to have a really beautiful new beginning. This is beautiful. This is about, it's a very fertile energy and the ability to grow something as well. So the key here is for you to do something that feels completely authentic. Yes, I love it. 6 of Wands, beautiful energy of success, great energy if you've been struggling lately. Awesome. I mean, this is just good news here. Good news. And getting accolades, something going really, really well. Page of Wands, beautiful. Step into your power. Expressing yourself, and good news coming in about any project that requires any kind of negotiation. Really good. This also indicates a new offer coming in, and even if it's not as great as you would maybe that you thought it would be if you were going to get into this area, it's still going to appeal to you. King of Cups, beautiful. Follow your heart. Follow your heart and settle that conflict that's going on within yourself about this financial situation or about this career choice or what's going on in your career. You might feel unclear how to handle it, but you know what the answer is with the King of Cups? Follow your heart. And that's what all of this is about. Follow your heart, Cancer. Yes. Okay, my friends, that is what I have for you. I hope this was helpful in some way. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.